CSS is a powerful page description language that unleashes the power of your creativity. CSS3 adds some potent new features that can do incredible things with a few short lines of code. And one of those features is the animation feature. You'll be amazed what it can do, so in this video, I'll introduce you to the CSS3 animation features and give you an example. So here I have a div container and it's called move me, and you can see up here that we've already created the CSS for it, and that gives it some attributes, dimensions, color, and so on. What I want to do is create the animation, so we're going to use the new CSS3 feature called animation. And the first attribute we're going to give it is a name. So we'll call this my move. And again, this is arbitrary. We decide what we want to call it, but we're going to need to remember that. And then how long we want the animation to last. In this case, we'll say 5 seconds. And then I'll just use a cycle. In this case, the cycle is 1. So it's going to cycle 1 time. Now, next, what we have to do is we actually have to make sure that we do this for different browsers as well. So we're going to use the very same thing, okay, except that we're going to use dash WebKit dash animation. Put in the same information, and I'll just put in a little note here, just advising whoever's looking at this code that this is going to work for Safari, Chrome, and Opera. Okay, so this one right here, this feature is going to work with Internet Explorer 11, and it's also going to work with Firefox. This one is needed in order to make it run with these 3 browsers, and you may even want to do this. I'll go ahead and highlight that entire thing and just Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste it in. You can also do this, -ms -animation, and I'll put in another note here. This will be for versions of IE 9 and up. Okay, so really it's actually IE 9 and IE 10. Like that. Okay, so we need to establish that and make sure that we do it with all 3 types, at least the 2 types, WebKit and animation. But to make it work with IE 9, IE10, we want to use that as well. Go ahead and create a line, because here's where we actually create our information, our keyframes. So I'll use the @ symbol, and we use @keyframes. And then we choose the animation name. In this case, we called it my move. Okay, and the important thing to remember here, I'm going to put in, or copy this actually, copy and paste it. Okay, because remember, this is going to work with Internet Explorer 9 and 10. Oh, sorry, actually, no, it's not. This is IE 11 and Firefox. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, and we're going to use the from keyword, and then inside braces, from left, okay, 0 pixels. So we're going to start the animation at 0 pixels, and then 2, okay, and then it's going to be left 300 pixels. And again, these are purely arbitrary, so you can decide. Now, for formatting purposes, actually, I didn't like the way that this Web Matrix formats this. For animations and things like this, you may want to do this just because it's a little easier to read. And it takes up less vertical space as well. So that's it. Okay, that'll animate this. I'll go ahead and save that and refresh the page. You can see now suddenly we've got our animation. Now it's going to go over to 300 pixels and then stop and then reset. So that works great. Now what if I try running this, say, in Chrome? Didn't work. Okay, so we have to take a note from what we did up here, copy this, and paste it. Actually, I'm going to paste it twice because we want to make sure we capture all the browsers. So in this case, we're going to use -ms -keyframes my move, and now I can go ahead and copy this and paste it in here. Just a little note, and then I'm going to copy this and paste it in here because we need to create a set of rules for both MS and WebKit. So WebKit keyframes, dash keyframes, my move. Okay, everything looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and save that now and refresh. And you can see now that works. So effectively, we need to make sure we capture all that information for whatever browsers we want to make this work with. Now, the other thing too is, here I've used one, but what if I wanted to just have this go forever? Well, we can do that too. So I'm going to highlight that and just change those ones to infinite. You can change it to whatever number you want, but if you make it infinite, okay, then what's going to happen is it's going to keep cycling again and again. It's going to stop and then it'll start over again. So that's effectively how you create animations in HTML5 using CSS3 and that wonderful animation feature. Once you start to use it and work and play around with it, you can get all sorts of interesting effects with your web pages, maybe even create some games.